so you can understand a little bit what it's about. And actually we'll tell you also what it's about, because there's several different sections that will all be essential. So the start is going to be about 2 kilometers on a gravel road uphill, actually quite steep right from the get-go. So we'll see the fast mountain runners probably make their way in the lead, potentially open up a gap. We know Andy Walker from the US is a specialist at that game. And then it branches into a trail, like a single track. Still, I wouldn't say to the technical part yet, because the technical part really comparatively starts about here, where you see on the screen right now.
Yeah, they're going to have to use their hands.
Use their hands, yeah. And it gets extremely steep, as you can see, obviously, on the screen. This is a boulder field, about like cat-sized boulders. Some are moving, some are not moving.
Yeah,
so
it's ridiculous.
You're going to pick your chance. And this is the out and back, so they're going to go up to the top, and then back down, and then up to the down to the saddle. And to me, this is the most technical. We've both run the course. We've experienced firsthand what it was, and this is the steepest, most technical, because it's essentially rocks, but they're super slippery. Everything's wet.
Oh yeah, and here we are moving into the swamp area. It's like a downhill swamp. Yes,
slightly downhill, but this is incredibly hard to run in this, because there's a trail, but if you step in the trail, you're worse off than on the side. And sometimes you step and you're like ankle deep into the mud or into the water or into super soft moss. So it's going to be very interesting to see the strategy from the runners on that section, whether they're going to try to open up a gap like the orienteering runner Fred Tranchant, he will be super comfortable in there, or try to save their strength. Here you've got the 2 course records established in the previous editions. We have a much deeper field, however, the conditions are way worse. So how are we going to be under still or slightly over? We still don't have the answer. And so then let's talk about the last part here. You know it as well, and I think this is a bit closer to what we see usually on in European races.
Yeah, the last kilometer, that's what people are used to. The rest, no, they're not used to that.
And it's starting to get crowded on this scene. Probably the biggest VO2 max ever gathered. All right, on to the next one, and not the least. No, man. She's been making a lot of noise recently, virtually and literally. Winner of the 2022 GoPro Trail World Series stage at Mont Blanc Marathon in France. Third in the 2022 GoPro Trail World Series stage in Zegama Escori. She's coming from Spain and part of the team Salomon, Sarah Alonso!
More than 20 times maybe? Yes, really. It's trying to run to the floor, trying to run to the floor, and in one moment to the camera and like, oh!
Springer opp på et fjell, ned igjen på andre siden, så fort som overhodet mulig, uten å knekke armer og bein.
And so we are gathering all the best runners in the world here in Stranda to compete, and we try with them to develop the biggest trail running show on the planet.
Det var helt utrolig at det kom til Norge. Det er veldig, veldig stort.
Det var veldig, veldig hardt. Jeg tror kanskje det tøffeste rennet jeg har gjort.
The race is so different to all the races down in Europe. Very different trails, very different terrain. So I had a lot of fun.
Det her er jo skikkelig heimbane, så det er veldig kult å få verdenscupen.
Beste med fjelløp. Jeg kommer i mål.
All right. Welcome everyone, welcome to Stranda, Norway for the 2022 Stranda Fjord Trail Race.
That's right. We're in Stranda, it's on the west coast of Norway. I think this is probably one of the most beautiful areas we have. So, yeah.
Yeah, so this is going to be extremely exciting. This is the third race of the GoPro Trail World Series, and for the first time we're coming to the Nordic country, to Norway. And well, we're in for a treat. So that's going to be super interesting. We have a lot of runners who are comfortable and technical. we will see how they can handle the kind of Norwegian technical, which is very specific. And again, we've experienced that, and there's no shoe that actually sticks on the wet rocks above because there's kind of a small layer of moss onto it, and so there's just no way to grip onto it. So it's basically who has the most skills, but also who's willing to take a chance. And I think if there's one thing we can guarantee, that there's going to be falls. So hopefully nothing major, hopefully nothing critical, but there will be falls because these people, men and women, are here to compete, to win, to push their limits, and certainly not to have a conservative approach.
Is it better? This also? Yeah, it's better with this.
Fill up?
Yes.
starts about here, where you see on the screen right now.
Yeah, they're going to have to use their hands.
Use their hands,
yeah.
And it gets extremely steep, as you can see, obviously, on the screen.
Godt vi ikke skal ned der. Godt vi ikke skal ned der. Sketchy shit. Her skal det være utsikt. Egentlig. Oh my god. Bein altså. Fucked. Der. Ja, man.
we return to. Kvinneklassen på 58 kilometer. Kvinneklassen på 58 kilometer på tredjeplass. Number 3, 48K women. Anna Louise Asta Sørlis, skydivers. Og tida 8:02:36. Gratulerer. Follow racing team. 7:50.
Ja, du i år er de brutale. Å, fy faen. Sløyt. Det er sikkert 315 ganger i dag. Oi, 15? Ja, det er kjempebra. Mistet tellingen. Ja, nei, i år er det et av de hardeste årene på grunn av regnet. Det regner siden ferien startet. Non-stop. Det er en dag med oppflytt. Det var i går. Så nei, helt brutalt. Ja.
Yeah. Congratulations, all of you. Thank you.
Tøff løype. Ja.
Har mye sånne små flitt som er små luredommer. Mange plasser. Og brutalt. Ja.